hillside and range, every black bear and caribou and bobcat's the same. When mighty old Noel starts to draw back his bow and take aim. This is the legend of a man who still remains with the name on no feather. Hunting is his game, living by the code of the great outdoors. He'll never let nothing stand in his way. He's gone face to face with a big old grizzly bear, but the creature, see, he got away and didn't seem to care. So mighty old Noel just sat back and said, I'll wait another day. Oh, with a hi-yi-o, I say it's a hunting we will go. Oh, with a yippee-ki-yay and a yippee-ki-yo, I said it once before and I'll say it again, a hunting we will go. Let's go. Now see, Noel Feather's not your average hunting man. He held the record 3 times, now Boone and Crockett understand. Both Saxon and Young Odd have both bowed down and gave old Noel a hand. From the windswept peaks of the Yukon to the swamps of Alabama, on top his horse Big Red to the bayous of Louisiana, he travels the country without a fear to seek a brand new land. He's always tried to push himself as far as he could go. On his battling buck's white-tail hunting show, try as they might, they just can't escape his arrow and his bow. Oh, with a hi-yi-o, I say a hunting we will go. Oh, with a yippee-ki-yay and a yippee-ki-yo, I said it once before and I'll say it again, a hunting we will go. Let's go. Top, forest, hillside, and range, every black bear and caribou and bobcat's the same. When mighty old Noel starts to draw back his bow and take aim. This is the legend of a man who still remains with the name old Noel Feather. Hunting is his game, living by the code of the great outdoors. He'll never let nothing stand in his way. Oh, with a hi-yi-o, I say a hunting we will go. Oh, with the yippee-ki-yay, yippee-ki-yo, I said it once before and I'll say it again, a hunting we will go. Let's go.
I'm Noel Feather. This is my hunting buddy Jim Miller. This is our guide Jeff Wright. We're up here in big, beautiful Alberta, and we're getting ready to do some bear hunting. We got in late yesterday afternoon and got squared away. Went out this morning and Jeff showed us some baits. They look good to me.
They look real good.
And I'm looking forward to this afternoon. Would you like to tell us a little bit about, or tell the audience a little bit about your operation here, Jeff, and how you go about baiting bears?
Well, our season opens on the 1st of April, but the bears usually don't start roaming around until, the 3rd week. It depends on the weather, of course. But I like to start baiting around the middle of April, get bears active and on the baits a couple of weeks prior to the first hunters arriving. And I usually start in the first week in May, and we run till about the end of the first week in June. And well, it's nice. It's back in the wilderness. We set up a nice camp, as you see. Try to make everybody as comfortable as possible.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful here. And when you said back in the wilderness, he wasn't kidding. It's an adventure just to get here. Some of those roads that we've got to go down with them four-wheelers to get to the baits is going to be real interesting. And keep your feet up, or you may get some wet feet. Look for me like on some of those. But I'm real excited. I think it's going to be. If we just get decent weather, and it looks like, I mean, today, you know, if it stays like this, it'd be super.
Great. This is great.
But you know, you can't control the weather, and weather has an awful lot to do with bear hunting, as everyone probably knows that's ever hunted bears. I used to do quite a bit of guiding years ago myself, and from what you tell me that how you do it here and everything, it's pretty much the same. I think, you know, where you're baiting in Minnesota or down in you know, Ontario or any place you got bears. Black bears will eat pretty much anything, and when they first come out of hibernation, you know, they're hungry, and if you can get them started on a bait, why, usually you've got a good chance of you know, keeping them on the bait.
Yeah, that's true enough. When they first come out, they'll spend a few days roaming around, getting their system back, you know, circulating, and then they'll get on the baits, and they'll stay pretty active. There's not a lot of feed around in the springtime, of course.
Right.
Up in this country, there's a lot of sand and jack pines and a lot of ridges, so there's a lot of blueberries. And the blueberries, of course, there's not so much in the spring, but there's a lot of low bush cranberries left, and the bears will eat on that, as you've seen by some of the sign at the baits. You saw that they were eating a lot of the cranberries.
You bet.
But they hit the baits pretty hard because there's not much feed for them in the spring.
Well, I tell you, I think that from what I've seen, this is about as much a remote camp as I've ever hunted. I mean, you are back in the wilderness, and we drove, 3 hours just to get to camp.
Right.
And then you're going, 15 miles, some of these baits on four-wheelers?
Yeah, we're going, well, we've got a few baits that are even farther than that. We've gone up to 30 miles to some of our baits.
That's a long way to go on a four-wheel. You bet.
It is. But by getting back into the remote area like this, there's a lot of other areas in Alberta that have a lot of bears. But by getting back so far, there's less or actually no hunting pressure. You're going to get a lot better quality animals. You're going to get bigger bears.
You know, one of the big ththings that I'm really looking forward to and hoping for is to see like a blonde or a cinnamon bear. Right. Because most of the places that I've ever hunted, and definitely the places where I guided bears, pretty much black bears was all there was there. And from what you tell me and the different people that I've talked to in Alberta, the different color phase is fairly common in this area.
Yeah, it varies from area to area. You'll get small pockets that seem to hold colored bears, and you can go 60 miles away and you'll get an area where there's a lot of black. But in our experience up here, we get probably on the average, I'd say between 20 and 35% off color, which is kind of nice because what I've heard anyway in other parts of the country, you're getting 95% black. So it's something a little different to shoot for, and in Alberta, because you can shoot two bears, you can always.
That's another nice plus too, being able to shoot two bears.
Right. So you can tag a real nice black with your first tag, and then you can try and hold out for a color.
Well, I'm hoping to get at least to get to see a blonde or a cinnamon colored bear, and I really would like to shoot one. I mean, that would be what I would prefer because I've never shot that many of them. I shot a cinnamon colored a few years back, but it was not a very big bear, and I'm hoping to get a shot at a nice color phase bear. That'd be my favorite. It'd be a dandy. Would you rather have a black, or would you, if you had a choice, would you take the?
I'll take the blonde every time.
Listen at him. Maybe it's because he's married to one. You think that's got anything to do with it?
That might have something to do with it. He's playing it safe.
Well, I tell you what, if we can talk the cook into fixing us a bowl of soup and a sandwich or something, I'm ready to head out there and get in the tree stand and see what we can see.
That sounds like a good plan to me.
Let's see if we can do it.
All right.
Can you play that?
What do you think of that, buddy?
I ain't believing that. Can you play that?
Don't let the camera run.
Yeah.
Let it run while we're talking.
Okay. Can you play that? We haven't been in the stand 30 minutes.
Did you get the death cry?
Yeah.
They can picked it up.
Yeah.
Boy, that was a nice bear.
I know. They come in so.
Perfect. And I tell you what, old Jeff has got a good spot here. This is beautiful country. That big swamp back there, it couldn't be better. Whew. Oh, Mark,
No.
let's go down and get him.
Okay.
He ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Did you see where he went?
Yeah.
He went almost straight back in the bait.
Right.
Took a hook to the right.
Yeah.
And I think he's about 60 yards to where I heard that death cry. Let's go back here and see if we can pick up some blood. We may not get much blood because the arrow didn't go all the way through it. It's just- Here's where he tore up the moss. Ain't no blood, but that's where he went right through there.
Did he go more that way?
Look at that pile of bear crap. I've seen grizzlies that wasn't even bigger than that. There's another bear working this bait that's bigger than the one I shot, and I'd bet on it. Look at the size of that. There's blood right there. Right through here. Right there with that log. Yeah. See there's where he tore the moss up. There was blood back there. He definitely went right through here. He's down the bottom. I told you that's where he went. When he tore up that moss right there. He went over the bank. Come here. Come here, you can see him. See him right there. Oh, the arrow's still in him. Yeah. And he got a pretty sight. Oh, that's a pretty bear. Step over here. He went down that bank right there. Look at the bear trail there. That's it. See the arrow sticking in him? Get over here where you can see him. Jim, that's a nice bear. We're never going to get him up out there by ourselves.
Okay.
We might as well go back and get Jeff to help us get him out of there because we ain't never going to get that bear up that hill by ourselves.
Okay.
Let's go back and get him.
Did you see that really? Huh?
Yeah, he's laying over there, Jim.
Man, I can't believe you went down like a ton of bricks. Gee, run. You know, when I first hit him like that, I thought I had totally spined him.
Yeah, I think you did hit something about like that, put him out of commission.
Like that, I can't believe it. But you know, bigger bear that come in earlier. I don't know what happened there.
The one we seen yesterday?
Yeah. You know how it come in and hit on that carcass like that?
Right.
And this one here, when it come up and was eating on that carcass and it sat down there, that's when I thought I had a good open shot on it. I should have took it when it's standing up, stretched out.
He took that beaver's head right off.
Sure did. Here's my arrow.
I think he's only laying about 20 yards back in there, Jim.
I seen him laying over. Here he is, over here.
Yeah, he should be right there,
Go
Flo.
far. Woo. You should see the blood here.
Hit him good then, huh?
Yeah. I must hit that artery down up on, come along the back there. There he is. Look at this. Nice bear. About a 3 or 4 year old bear.
He's a good one.
He's a good one. They're all good ones. Boy, it's got a beautiful coat on it. Thick.
This time of year, they're all good.
I know it.
Once in a while you get a rub one, but usually not this early.
It's getting late. We better get back and get a bike and get the spare tag and get back to camp and get a skin out. Yep.
Okie doke.
Let's take care of her. Let's get her out of here.
Jim, I thought maybe we'd take a couple of minutes and just talk a little bit about bear hunting and some of the do's and don'ts. And maybe this would be helpful to, say, a new hunter that's just getting into it, that's never done a lot of bear hunting, maybe possibly never done a lot of hunting, period.
Right.
And it might be of help to him. Bear hunting is not really that much different than probably deer hunting or any type of hunting, actually. There's certain things that you need to do, like always watch the wind. It's always definitely important to watch the wind. Walk into the wind like when you're going into your bait or your stand if you're deer hunting, of course. But keeping your clothes clean, keeping your body clean, take a shower, bath if you can. It's hard to do in bear camps sometimes, but it's not too bad here because Jeff's got a nice shower fixed up.
Has.
But you don't get that in every camp. But those things I think are important. Wear some type of cover scent or a scent eliminator. These are, this is definitely a plus bear hunting. A bear, I guess you'd have to say, is as far as his nose, is probably one of the sharpest animals there is in the woods, wouldn't you?
Without a doubt. It's got
He
sharp
lives pretty much like a whitetail. He lives by his nose.
And then I'd say his hearing second.
A bear's hearing, yeah, I would say maybe his second sense would be his hearing, because he definitely can hear.
But he can believe it.
But you never want to sell him short on the eyes either.
No.
A bear doesn't see as well as a whitetail.
Not at all.
But I tell you what, you move around very much,
Them little beady eyes got you.
and that old bear will be looking right at you. So it's really important to be well camouflaged and to not move any more than you absolutely have to when you're on that bear stand. And that old boy gets up there and he's reaching for peanuts and eating candy and he's got him a soda pop and he's usually not going to kill a bear.
Nope.
At least not a big bear. You can get away with a lot more with a small bear than you can a big bear, definitely. But these are maybe to the average guy that's hunted a lot, maybe some of this stuff doesn't really seem too important or that it's worth putting in a video. But to a guy that's just getting into hunting, I feel like that it is.
I definitely do. Most of the guys that I've talked to that's going bear hunting for the first time, they don't know what to do. They think that, well, maybe there's a different animal. They hear so many different stories about bears. And like we were talking about, bear's nose, his hearing, and his sight. A lot of people sell it short.
Well, it's true. It's not as good. A bear's eyes is nothing like a whitetail, but I've had bear spot me, and I think a person definitely needs to pay attention and not move any more than they absolutely have to.
Right.
And I think they're going to have a whole lot better luck. Just trying to do things right, and I think they're going to be better off in the long run.
They sure will.
Even with the bears. Anything else you want to add to it? That might be a helpful hint to a bear hunter.
Well, personally, I people find out if they go bear hunting, they think hunting over baits is you hear the different controversies about it.
Well, you always hear that.
Yeah, but you know, I'll tell the folks out there to go on a bear hunt with a bait. I'll tell you what, it's excitement. You're sitting on that stand, and you're sitting there, and you've been there for 2-3 hours, and nothing's going on, and all of a sudden you turn and look over your shoulder, and there he is, and it's that silent ghost just sneaks through in, and he's there, and I'll tell you what, it makes your blood boil when you see that bear in that close. It's just
Well,
something about it.
I've hunted bears, it seems like all my life. I've hunted bears a long time. I guided bears, and I've killed a lot of bears with bow, you know,
Right.
and a few with a gun. But I never get tired of it. I still
Nope,
love it,
love
and
it.
it's exciting to me to be there late in the evening, and like you said, watching that bait, and you don't hear anything, and all of a sudden you just look up and there's a bear.
Right.
He moves, he takes the big old flat feet, and he comes
So
through the
deliberate.
woods, and he's walking on that moss, and I tell you, he can be in on you before you even know it. And I have never lost that, you know, that excitement. I still get
Absolutely.
excited when I see one, and to me, you know, if anybody, especially if you're hunting with a bow, it's just a challenge, and I think that you people that if you have any desire at all to do it, just get out there and give it a try.
Right. Absolutely.
Let's go get them.
Let's do it.
Let's just go back to the bait. And the arrow went right through the bear. And the beam went into the bait last night. As soon as we, it was late when I shot him.
You think you hit him pretty good?
It looked like I hit him real good, and then I also heard him give that moan like they do, when you really got him hard. So I know we ain't gonna have trouble finding the bear. Only, last night it was late, and there's no way that we got that bear out there, by ourselves. So that's why we figured better just come on back and get you. And
Saw some other bears in
come back tomorrow. Oh man, we must have seen at least 3 or 4 different bears in here. I mean, we've seen bears every night on this bait. This is a hot bait.
It's been hit pretty hard all spring.
This is a hot bait. And this one I shot is the brown one that I was telling you about.
Oh yeah.
The good, looked like had real good hair on him.
Good.
And maybe you call him cinnamon, but he's almost a blonde. Looks to me like.
Right on. Well, let's see if you
Boy,
can find
he's
him.
let's go ahead for it. Hugging this tree, trying to get that beaver. And I was right there, so it had a perfect broadside shot. The arrow went right through it. See, flashed. Rain washed off some of it. But
Looks like you got a good hit.
it looked like it, and like I say, we heard that moan, so I'm sure that we ain't gonna have any trouble finding him. He, Just actually pull up and back.
Yeah, you look pretty dandy.
You didn't go far, did you?
No, you didn't.
Okay. You did a whole phone, that's usually it. Never heard of him.
Well, congratulations, Noel.
Hey,
Hell of a
thanks,
bear
buddy.
you got there.
Thank you, appreciate it. He's a good one.
Yeah.
Look how light the hair is underneath.
Yeah.
Now that is a true blonde right there, huh?
You bet. Early in the spring like this, the hair's so nice and thick and bushy and no
Yeah.
rubs yet.
That hair looks like it's 4 inches long.
Yes, it is. You
Boy, will that thing make a pretty rug.
bet.
Make a nice life size too.
It sure would.
Yeah, that's a pretty bear. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Jeff, the work begins now.
Yeah. We gotta.
It's not going to be easy getting that bear out of here.
I think I'm gonna try and drive the bike down the cliff here and see if we
You
can.
think you can drive down that hill?
Well, I've got the 2 bikes. We can always winch ourselves back out. So I think that'll be our best bet. It'll be a lot easier to drag them on the flat here than try to drag them up the side.
Man, that's steep. Well, what do you take the bow back and get some ropes and
Yeah, I think that's our best plan.
and
Get them
see
skinned
what
up.
we can do? Okay. Sounds like a winner.
Right on.
Let's do it.
who that was? You hear that death cry? He ain't going nowhere, buddy. That's it. He ain't going no place. There's a piece of the arrow right there. It broke off. See? See where it broke off? Bear went right through here. Cut out through here. Then he made a hook. And I heard him back in there when he was giving that death moan. Bear shouldn't be very far. There's blood on that tree right there. He went through right through there. See on that little pine tree? He went right through here. Blood right there. Here's the arrow. It's the fletchy end of it. I think we'll go back and get Brian in the four-wheeler, because it's going to be a job getting him back to the road. He's going to be laying back there about 50 yards.
So did the arrow pass right straight through?
Yeah, the arrow went through him, and I found a piece of it there, and a piece of it just a little farther back, see? And I was right up here in this tree, and the bear was just on the other side of this brush. I come to draw when he walked behind this brush, and he'd have been right about in here when I shot. And then the piece of the arrow was laying right there by that old tree.
Oh, yeah, so you can see the...
Oh, he started bleeding instantly.
You get good blood like that you passed right through.
Yeah. And so the part of it was there, and then the other piece was over here. And we found a little tree over here that he went through, and there was quite a bit of blood on that tree. And I picked up part of the arrow here, and another piece right over here.
Yeah, you gotta...
See the blood right here?
Yeah, lots of
blood in this moss.
He's coming out both sides.
There's that little pine tree right there where he went through there and rubbed blood.
Oh, yeah.
He was really pumping it out.
Yeah, he's got on both sides here, too, so...
Yeah.
Here and here.
And see, there's moss tore up on the other side. He went right through there.
Yeah. Oh, we'll find him.
Well, I was sure we would, but I knew we was going to have trouble getting him back to the road anyway without that four-wheeler, so I just thought we'd come and get you.
Yeah, goodness.
And you know the country, we don't. If we did have a problem,
In these woods, you can really get lost.
you can turn around real easy.
More here.
Okay.
More here. Pretty obvious. He's not going to be far.
Yeah, he's on a good trail.
Yeah, normally when a wounded animal, they'll get on the easiest going path and head out, and then
Once they make that initial run, when the arrow first hits them, they just go crazy and sometimes make a circle, and then they'll line out.
Yeah, they get on their beaten path where they come in, and I know he's not going to be too far.
No, we should pick him up real easy.
You were able to pick up the moan?
The moan, yeah, we heard the moan. So when you hear that, why, you know he's your bear.
That's pretty easy.
That's always a good sound, and you hear that real quick.
See, he's pumping out both sides here. He's not going to be...
Yeah.
You can't go much further. This would be pretty much where I heard it. The last sounds would be right in this general vicinity, because he kind of hooked back to our left.
There's lots of trails coming out the other side there.
Okay. Got blood there?
Yeah, more here.
All right. You know, even when they're close, if you don't have blood, a lot of times it's hard to find them.
Yeah.
In this thick stuff. You can walk right by a carcass and never see it.
Oh yeah, here we go. He's really looking around. Second here. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. There he is. See him?
Up there?
Yeah, that's him. Yeah. Just be careful.
Something black. Something black.
It's always easier tracking him in the daylight, isn't it?
You got that right. You got that. Hey,
Yeah,
he's
piled her up.
a dandy.
Yeah. Hey, how'd it be, guy? I know you old timers, you could do it.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you. He's a good one. He's a nice looking.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice head on him.
Got a good coat.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good head.
Yeah.
Don't he?
Yeah, look at the head there.
Oh yeah.
He's got a pretty good spread in between the ears, and
He might make Pope. He's gonna be close.
he's gonna be close. Yeah, you bet he's gonna be close.
Got a big foot on him too. If he's a boar, he just might make buck.
Yeah, he's got a good bit on him here.
Got a good sized pad.
Yeah. The winter coat is starting to set in pretty nice already.
Yeah, he's got good hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd make a beautiful rug.
Yes, sir. You did a good job too. You can see where.
That's where the arrow would
that's the arrow.
that's where it went in.
Yeah.
And it
And
come out
over there.
Looks like
Yeah.
it come out right here.
Pretty much a good
So,
shot. You
perfect
bet.
lung shot.
Yeah.
Just right in behind the shoulder.
Real good. Well, I'm gonna have to go get the quad runner. See if I
Okay.
can find a way in here, and just stay here, and I can use you for sounding, and I'll go back and get the quad runner. And
Okay.
come on back.
We'll hear you. Over here. You have kind of a rough ride?
Harry Canary coming back in here. I'll just get turned around, and then we can go back out there.
He's a good one, ain't he?
He sure is, yeah.
Got a good coat on him. Nice bear.
What went too far?
No, I didn't go fireworks. 40 bow quiver, see, and I had this other bow set up, and I wasn't using a quiver, and had it hanging in the tree there, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And this morning I just grabbed the bow and I just assumed the arrow was with it. But it wasn't, so
Let's see if we can.
I didn't think I needed it anyway.
You got the tag tied on him, Dennis?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. This will make our job a little easier.
A whole lot easier. I'd hate the thoughts of dragging that dude out there without that four-wheeler.
That's why I always tell the guys, make sure you stay in the stands and let Dennis and I do the looking, because you get, you know the country in here, and you get
Right.
mixed up in a hurry. I get that.
Tight down. That'll hold him.
Yeah, let's get this other strap on here. I noticed when you got awful excited when you were telling me you were.
He's a good bear. He's a good bear. Yeah, I bet he is. always talking about broadheads. I'd like to take a few minutes and tell you a little bit about some of the results that I found out just recently when I was testing some of these different broadheads. And I will actually shoot those heads and show you where you can see the difference in the penetration and some of the things I've been talking about. They always say a picture is worth 1,000 words, so if I actually shoot these arrows and let you see, I think you'll get the idea of what I mean. One of the things I wanted to talk about is the expandable head, the head that opens on impact. Now, a lot of people are wanting to shoot this head. A lot of people, including myself, was scared to shoot it because they was afraid it would not open, or they're afraid they won't get the penetration. And I will be shooting this head to show you just how it performs. I have two of the more popular type broadheads on the market today. One is a 3-blade here, the other is a 2-blade. I've always been under the impression, believed this for many years, that no head would perform and penetrate like a 2-blade head. And this little test that I did, I proved myself to be wrong. This head right here will perform just as well, got just as much penetration. In fact, it got quite a bit more penetration than either one of these two other heads. And that's the thing that I wanted to show you. This head is made by the Rocket Arrowhead people. It's called a steel head. And this whole ferrule is solid steel. And when this head hits, these little blades come out. And it's about probably 1 1/8 inches, same as probably this head right here when it's open. And I believe that that's part of the problem that a lot of people think that these type heads won't penetrate, is that they're shooting too big a head. They're shooting one of them that when it opens up, it's like maybe 2.5 inches. And that head will not penetrate like this head. So if you're going to shoot one of those real big heads, you're going to have to use more bow and shoot more poundage. With this head right here, it weighs 125 grains. It has about about 1 1/8 inches cutting diameter, which would be about equal to either one of these other heads. And the big thing about this head, and why so many people like them and want to shoot them, is the fact that they fly like a target arrow. They fly just like a field tip. If you've got a field tip that weighs 125 grains, that's what this weighs. You can screw this broadhead on your arrow and it will perform the same as a field tip. And to me, that's the big thing. And I know I hear a lot of people talking about them. They like the way they shoot, but they're afraid they won't penetrate. So what I would like to do is to take and shoot all 3 of those arrows into this piece of plywood. I have a catalog behind it. We'll see which one goes the farthest or goes the deepest into the catalog, if it goes through the plywood. So just bear with me a minute, and I will take and shoot all 3 of those heads. Okay, I'm going to take now, I'm going to shoot the 2-blade head, then I'll shoot the other 2, and we'll check the penetration. All of these heads will be shot from a 22/16 arrow. All the same weight, same bow, everything will be the same. There's arrow number 1. Now we'll shoot the 3-blade head. If I can get the snow off here. Everything's the same. Try to hit a little different spot. Okay. Now I'm going to shoot the steel head, the one that opens on impact. This is the head that I was so surprised at the penetration. Let's go down and take a look and see what the results are. Okay, here's the 3-blade head. As you can see, it made it through the plywood, but it didn't make it all the way to the catalog. Here is the 2-blade head. It went farther through the plywood, but it did not make it all the way to the catalog. This is the Rocket steel head. It went all the way through the plywood and is buried in the catalog. I don't think it shot completely through the catalog, but it did go into it up to the shaft. Okay, right here where my thumb is the tip of the Rocket. It didn't go completely through the catalog, but it did travel through 314 pages of the catalog. It went through, plus it went through had to go all the way through the plywood. So as you can see, it did penetrate farther than in any other head that we tested. And this was what was so amazing to me. So I'm going to try to get this off of here. It didn't want to come out there. Okay. As you can see that the head is still intact. It did not hurt the blades. I've got one other test that I want to show you that this is a tough little head. Okay, what I'm going to do is take this little steel head that's made by Rocket. I'm going to take and shoot that into a 55-gallon steel barrel. And I have done this test before with other broadheads, and a Muzzy will shoot all the way through it, and I think this head will too. The only thing is, with these blades that open on impact, I don't know if they'll stay intact going through steel. But I've shot it on other things enough to know that this head will penetrate as good as any head I've shot. So we'll give it the old barrel trick and see what happens. Pretty sure it's through both sides. See here, the arrow went completely through both sides of the barrel, penetrated right to the knock on the side where it went in, went out the opposite side. The blades are still intact, and you can see the cuts right here where it opened and went through the steel. To me, that's a very impressive little demonstration. As you can see, that little head is still intact. There's not a thing wrong with it. The blades are perfect. And I'm impressed. I'm not afraid to shoot this head at any animal. So if there's any of you folks that have thought about trying the new heads that open on impact, I suggest you give them a try, because everyone knows that they fly just like a field point. And after watching this demonstration, I think you'll agree that you don't have to be worried about penetration. So all I can say is give them a try. I think you'll like them.
Wasn't he pretty up on that log? That was a beautiful spot to shoot one.
Yeah. I'll go over and see if I can find the arrow.
Okay.
There's no point in trying to find blood. You heard the depth, right? Here's the arrow.
Okay.
See there? Went all the way through him. See the blood on the fletch? That's the way we like them. I don't see no point in trying to go through them. I don't see no use going through all that brush. We heard him right over in here when he gave his last moan, so the old death cry. We'll just go around here so it's easier and see if we can pick him up. Man, that thing's getting ripe. he is right there. He didn't go 20 yards, I don't think, in that bait. Yep. He's a pretty bear. Where's he now? Pretty bear, got a nice hide on it. He's not a real big bear, but he's a nice bear. Look at that coat. Man, that's thick. He's a pretty one. He won't make the record book, but he'll make mine. Yeah, he's a pretty one. Well, let's go get some rope and drag that boy out of here.
Over every mountain, top forest, hillside, and range, every black bear and caribou and bobcat's the same. When mighty old Noel starts to draw back his bow and take aim. This is the legend of a man who still remains with the name on no feather. Hunting is his game, living by the code of the great outdoors. He'll never let nothing stand in his way. He's gone face to face with a big old grizzly bear, but the creature see he got away and didn't seem to care. So mighty old Noel just sat back and said, I'll wait another day. Oh, with a hi-yi-o, I say it's a hunting we will go. Oh, with the yippee-ki-yay and the yippee-ki-yo, I said it once before and I'll say it again, a hunting we will go. Let's go. Now see, Noel Feather's not your average hunting man. He held the record 3 times, now Boone and Crockett understand. Both Saxon Young I'd have both bowed down and gave old Noel a hand. From the windswept peaks of the Yukon to the swamps of Alabama, on top his horse Big Red to the bayous of Louisiana, he travels the country without a fear to seek a brand new land. He's always tried to push himself as far as he could go. On his battling buck's white-tail hunting show, try as they might, they just can't escape his arrow and his bow. Oh, with a hi-yi-o, I say a hunting we will go. Oh, with the yippee-ki-yay and the yippee-ki-yo, I've said it once before and I'll say it again, a hunting we will go. Let's go. Over every mountaintop, forest, hillside, and range, every black bear and caribou and bobcat's the same. When mighty old Noel starts to draw back his bow and take aim.